Hello friends, dear students, a very warm good morning to all. In the auspicious day of Navaratri, I am so happy and pleased to welcome you into Doctors Academy for Taxation and Accounting, my YouTube channel, which is dedicated for the students to learn finance related subjects. It is observed that students find it difficult to clear their accounting subjects during their plus 1 plus 2 program. Students find it difficult to crack their taxation and accounting related subjects, financial management subjects, management accounting subjects during their BCom or BBA or undergraduate program. The case is not different in the case of masters like MCom, MBA. And there are certain students who could not clear their chartered accountancy exam just because of they could not clear their tax paper. So here I am with you to support and to provide you the open access material through YouTube in the form of videos and lecture series. Once again, I welcome you to Doctors Academy for Taxation and Accounting. Through this channel, you can watch videos on various lectures. So, at the beginning, let us start with taxation. What is tax? Tax is the levy made by the government from the general public. Why the government make levy from the general public? Government in need of money. Government mobilizes money from general public in various forms. One of the method is levying of taxation. Taxes are two types, direct taxes and indirect taxes. Then why the government levy tax? The government needs funds to manage various expenses. For example, to maintain law and order. To maintain law and order, the government in need of money. Similarly, the government has to safeguard the nation from the outsiders. Provide border security. Provide welfare mechanism. Because India, in particular, I would say, it's a socially wedded nation. So they have to maintain the balance between the rich and poor. It is observed that more than 75% of the resources are vested or held by the small group of 25 category. And only 25% of the resources are distributed across the huge group of 75 category. So there is a big gap between the rich and poor. So the government tries to build a bridge between these two category of rich and poor. So to maintain the social system, so to maintain or to bring the poor into the minimum level in the sense of free ration provided, free water supply, free health facility, free sanitation, road facility, infrastructure facility, rail facility, public transport system, all that is made up of some kind of subsidies. So to provide this kind of subsidy, the government in need of money. Similarly, the government has to develop infrastructure. So government in need of money, so which is mobilized through various levies, revenues and this kind of taxation. So if you look at the history of taxation, in India, the present taxing system came with effect from 1860. Sir James Wilson, a British ruler, who has introduced this in India? Firstly, the present form which we address now. This has happened because of the loss that they sustained, the loss they suffered during the military mutiny that took place in 1857 in India. So they wanted to cover up that expense, cover up that loss from here itself. So they started levying tax. And the first Income Tax Act came into existence in the year 1886. That act was in force until 1980. Then a revised act that came into force in 1918, which was there in India only for 3 years. By the year 1921, a new act came into force. But interestingly, that act, Income Tax Act 1921, was here in India until 1962 April, or until 1962 March 31st, I would say. So it's a long period of time, long duration of time. During this time, India got independence in 1947. Even after independence, we continued to use the same tax regime set by the British rulers. But the government of India in 1947, 48, 49, they appointed a committee to study the income tax law, and based on the recommendations of the committee, Income Tax Act 1961 came into force with effect from 1/4/1962. See, my dear friends, the same act that we are studying even today in 2020. So after 58 years of implementation, we are studying the same Income Tax Act 1961. This is the present condition of taxing system. And if you look at the taxation system that we had in the ancient books, Kautilya's Arthashastra mentions about the tax regime system that they had in India in that ancient period. There was clear mentioning about the administration, economy, and tax levying system. Similarly, if you look at the Kalidasa's Raghuvamsha, it has a slogan. That slogan goes like this. It was only for the good of his subjects that he collected taxes from them, just as sun draws moisture from the earth, to give it back in manifold effect. Like sun collects or sun absorbs moisture, the ruler collect tax. Why it is? It is to give it back. So this is what mentioned. This way the Raghuvamsha mentioning about the taxation system in India. Similarly, there was mentioning about the taxation in Ramayana too. So it is not a new subject, or it is not a new theme that we are discussing, but it was addressed in the ancient period too. Now if you look at the types of taxing system, the taxing system can be broadly classified into direct tax and indirect taxes. Examples for direct taxes are income tax, personal property tax, land tax, professional tax, and capital gain vacancy. Taxes which are directly levied from the associate. Taxes which are collected by the government from the taxpayer. It is direct tax. Income tax is number one example for direct tax. But indirect taxes are tax which is levied through mediators, middlemen. Example, value added tax or goods and service tax. Recently, in the year 2017, of July 1st, Government of India has introduced the goods and service tax in India, which is in force, but in certain goods or services, value added tax still remains in India. So it is not completely fully absorbed, but still it remains value-added tax, still it remains even after the implementation of GST. See, as I told you, we are discussing Income Tax Act 1961, which contains 23 chapters, 298 sections, subsections, clauses, amendments, case laws, and explanation. So it's a subject that we are discussing after 58 years. The same as Act may not be existing here. The Act 1961 may exist, but with drastic amendment, lots of changes, lots of modifications. And this Act contains mainly 5 heads of income: income from salary, income from house property, income from business or profession, capital gains, and other sources of income. If all the heads of income calculated according to the norm, according to the provisions of the Act, then we will be getting gross total income. From the gross total income, after applying deduction under section 80C to 80U, we will be getting total income or taxable income. So as I told you, this Act get revised every year. How the Act get revised every year? The Act will be getting revised every year through the amendment. How the amendment happens? How the amendment takes place? It is through the Finance Act every year. So government, the central government presents their union budget. In this union budget, there will be proposals. There will be recommendation for the modification of the Finance Act. The most recent budget presented by the Union Minister, Dr. Nirmala Sitharaman, has given the proposal of new optional taxing system.
Based on the new tax regime, up to 2.5 lakhs, nil tax. 2.5 lakhs to 5 lakhs income, 5%.
5 to 7.5 lakh, 10%. 7.5 to 10 lakh, it is 15%. Then 10 to 12.5 lakhs, it is 20%. If the income is, taxable income is 12.5 to 15 lakhs, 25% of the tax. Then if the income is above 15 lakhs, it is 30%. Plus surcharge if any, plus 4% of higher education and the health cess. Cess of 4%. So this is the present new proposal given by the government. But at the same time, the old scheme still remains. What is the old scheme? In the old scheme, up to 2.5 nil tax. 2.5 to 5 lakhs income, 5%. 5 to 10 lakhs, 20%. Above 10 lakhs income, 30% tax. Plus surcharge if any. Plus 4% education, higher education and health cess. So under the new proposal, new option scheme, the interesting part is the rate has reduced a lot, but at the same time many exemptions, many deductions. I would say that out of 100, 70% of the exemptions and deductions removed. So it is the option of the assessee. Either they can stick on to the old taxing scheme or they wanted to switch over to the new taxing scheme, and they can compare these two and they can go for the best option. So, hope this video is useful for you, useful to you. In the next video, let us discuss the exemptions which are removed based on the new optional taxing system. If this video is useful to you, please like it and recommend to others, and also subscribe my channel for getting the upcoming videos. Once again, thank you very much from Doctors Academy for Taxation and Accounting. Thank you.